Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing good today. Got a little bit of lag going on here. I don't know why. My internet should be good. All right, we'll try that. Sorry about that delay. A little bit of internet trouble. I don't know what was going on there, but it looks like my internet connection is a little bit better. So, yeah, don't know what happened there, but it looks like the lag isn't as bad as it was before. So here we go. Welcome to Renewed. This is a webcast or a broadcast, live broadcast where I have another comedian come on and we workshop jokes right in front of you. And that's what we're going to do today. My guest tonight is a good friend of mine, very funny fellow, Mr. Lee Bruns. So we're going to bring him in. Let's bring in Lee. There we go. Are you there, Lee?
I am here.
Oh, excellent. I don't know what happened there. I just ran into some internet trouble.
Turned into still photography.
Yeah, that's crazy. It just the first part of this broadcast, people are probably like, "What's going on? There's 5 minutes and nothing. Can see his face, and now we can't see anything." Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I'm still lagging a lot,
Yeah,
which is weird. I don't know. I'm
I ended
trying
up
to figure out.
jacking my computer straight into the router. I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought you already did that too. Did you got it just plugged
Well,
straight
I've
in,
got
right?
a I no, kind of. I mean, I have a power line adapter is what I installed so I could still do this upstairs in my studio, but that's still like one-on-one it's not as bad. I haven't did a one-on-one for a while yet to see how it works. But I did increase my internet. That was part of the problem. Part of the problem was I thought I had a better internet package than I did. Turned out I had a really low package,
Oh,
and so
all
I upgraded my
right.
package. So now I have faster internet. So I don't know why I had some lag there,
You
but
know,
I'm
there you
going to
go.
start doing this downstairs in my dining room. So
Yeah. Well, I just
yeah.
like the line. I upgraded my package.
Well, hey, you gotta do that sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta upgrade that package, you know? Sometimes the ladies prefer an upgraded package. Them be the Let them be the judge of that. You know what's crazy though? I've got less lag now, and I actually the power line adapter that I have hooked up, I actually unhooked it, and now I'm running off my Wi-Fi, and my Wi-Fi seems to be running better
Wow.
than the power line adapter. It's weird. So But like I said, I'm gonna start doing this from my dining room table,
Yeah.
which is right next to the router. So until I can until I can get the router moved upstairs. Ultimately, that's what I would like to do. But that requires running either an Ethernet cable up here or moving the whole router and doing the whole codex cable and all that stuff. So for now, we're dealing with
Yeah.
it. So you did a show last night. You've been doing some. You did a digital comedy. How was that for you?
That went really well last night. Spencer Dobson put it together, and Nathan Holtz was on, and what was her name? She was fantastic. Paula Kozienski. God, I probably butchered her name.
Nice.
And then Ron Lamprecht out of Minneapolis.
Yep, I know Ron. Yep,
Oh,
I've worked with
they
Ron.
were sharp. They were so good.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I watched part of one of the shows he put on but that was a while ago.
Right.
Been keeping busy doing my own stuff.
All of the online comedy shows, it's wonderful opportunity for me to see comics that I'm not going to get a chance to see otherwise. And then if I really like them, I'm getting a hold of them for booking down the road.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. Hopefully there will be booking down the road. I'm like in constant fear of that there's not going to be. But all right, well, now that we caught up a little bit and we got some people watching, just so you know, for the people watching the broadcast, we are workshopping jokes. That means what's going to happen is we're going to go back and forth with jokes and premises that we've been working on and give each other some feedback on them. As a viewer, if you have suggestions and ideas, you're allowed to pipe in through the comments. Just if you have an idea or something, or you just want to comment, make sure you comment, make sure you like and share this post so other people see it. And we're just here to have fun. It's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday night. We ain't got nothing else to do. So let's workshop some jokes, right? This has actually been a fun little show. I don't know how much interaction I'm going to have with people though, because usually you're watching it and you're interacting.
Yeah, I'm probably better at punching up other people's material than writing my own.
Yeah, so it's gonna be weird. We'll see if anybody actually comments on this, but because I'm used to you watching and commenting. But with that being said, let's get into this. And what is the first joke that you've got? I've only got a few, but go for it.
Yeah, well, trapped indoors, I've been listening to a lot of local radio, and KXLG here in Watertown plays a lot of AC/DC. And the most amazing song to me has to be It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll. I mean, that is an amazing song because at some point at one of their band meetings, somebody had to come in and say, all right, this is where the bagpipe solo comes in. I mean, what did the other band members say at this point? What? Are you drunk? Of course I'm drunk. I'm part of AC/DC. Well, here, have a beer. You're starting to talk sober. Bagpipes, it's a hit.
Oh, that's funny. I'm trying to think of that song now. Oh man.
Oh, tune into KXLG.
Yeah, did they play that song a lot? Apparently.
Yeah,
Man.
it's in solid rotation if you want to check out. Yeah, I was amazed by songs like that where someone had the idea of a bagpipe solo, or the Jethro Tull, where would really go well here? A fife.
Oh, that's actually a really good direction to go with that, where you could like talk about other songs that have like weird instruments, or maybe they should have tried a weird instrument, because you can do a what if scenario, like you could pick a popular song and say, what if Guns N' Roses used a triangle on, one of their songs or something like that. They're just like, they just broke into a triangle solo. Like
Hocus Pocus,
ridiculous.
like Focus, where they have the yodeling solo.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these weird, obscure, does it, I think, oh, yeah, Nathan just gave you a
Oh,
suggestion.
I'm writing notes. I'm
And I
taking
think,
notes. Everything.
can we get my brother? Yeah. Looks like Spencer posted the
Yeah,
link
I like that.
to the song.
Oh, he posted the AC/DC link, did he?
I think so. That's what I'm trying to see. It won't let me click on the link from here. But I think that's what that is. Yeah, I think he gave the link to the song. That, or he either gave the link to the AC/DC song or he did a link to his show. Either way, yeah, on Mondays, go check out Spencer Dobson's Zoom show, his digital comedy show.
That was so fun.
Follow him on the.
That was such a good time.
Yeah, I was just saying.
That was good fun.
That was it. Yeah, like I said, I watched one of his first shows, but I'm finishing up. Excuse me, I'm finishing up school, so I'm in like the last couple of weeks of school, so I've been busy with homework. Okay, so we got doing other obscure things.
Yeah, I like Holtz's suggestion there. Yeah. Can we get my brother in the song? What's he play?
And then that could be like a lead into, I think he plays triangle or he can yodel or something. Plays the oh man, can't think of the name of that instrument. The little we used to play them in school a lot.
The recorder? Like the
little harp. No, not the recorder. It's like sits in your mouth and it has the little boom, boom, boom.
The juice harp, the jaw harp.
Yeah, that's it. And he says, we're getting some corrections here. Music guy in the house. So it was actually Bon Scott who played the bagpipe. That's great. Oh man.
I Dobson's. Let's see if I can do a Dobson imitation. It was actually Bon Scott that did the bagpipes. Dobson killed me.
I wonder. We're gonna see if if Dobson, how he felt about your impression. It's funny because you've been doing little videos of impersonating Zach.
Yeah, Zach Dresch, the flu guy.
And somebody got drunk. Yeah, and then Nathan said the only analog instrument in a band named after electric current. And Dobson says somebody got drunk and made a bet. Yeah. I could see that.
How this is not going to be good. Happening. There's going to be people watching who aren't other comics, and they'll be going, this is nothing but insider jokes. You're making jokes about Zach Dresch, Luke Johnson be playing the banjo. Timmy Williams plays the accordion.
Right? Oh, there's another good tag or idea from Spencer. He just said if hadn't been this, it would have been Angus Young playing the spoons in a kilt. The best part though is this is what Spencer thinks of your impersonation. He says, I don't know if that was a good one. I feel like he would know,
Yeah. Close to the source material.
very very close to the source material.
I get it. Are the
Oh,
comments going to be available? Because I can't write as fast as
oh no, yeah, they should all be on the
okay. I'm
like
not
if you
going
go
to
on
start writing
Facebook
it down
later, they'll all
as
be there.
fast as Sarah.
Yeah, because I don't take the videos down usually. So
Oh, I like that one, Spencer.
they got drunk, made a bet. I win. It's bagpipes. You win. Spoons in a kilt. Oh, that's really good.
That's really good. I love that one.
Yeah. And he says, "I'm always on the inside looking out."
Oh, I got to get Spencer back in
Excellent.
Watertown. Oh man,
Yeah, you gotta get live shows again.
we had a new venue. We had a new venue.
I know.
300 seater. It was just all gold. And then somebody ate a damn bat.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. This is so sad. Oh man, so many bad things that we could talk about. But let's keep positive. Talk about bad jokes that need punching up. So I've actually the stuff that I have tonight is actually I haven't really worked on it a lot other than a couple of them are from the exposed storytelling show that I've been doing because I was like, well, those are actually pretty good stories if I could just like punch them up and make them better.
Right.
Um, so the first one is a story. So uh, it kind of talks about the idea that I kind of wanted to go with it is how teachers influence. I don't know if I want to have like a moral, I guess, but the story is this. So this is a real story that happened to me. It's an embarrassing thing. When I was in the 6th grade, uh, I was in my homeroom and it was during our study hour. And I really had to go to the bathroom, but we had a substitute teacher this day. And so I asked the substitute teacher, if I could go to the bathroom. Of course, substitute teachers are trying to, you either they're either really nice or they're really mean. It goes one or the other. You never get like an in between. And this day, the substitute was really mean, had to show their authority. As I asked to go to the bathroom, and I really had to go really bad. And they said no. And I asked again. I said, I really got to go. Said, no, you're going to go sit down and just do your homework. So I went back, sat back down, and all the other students, everybody's doing homework and reading and studying. And so the room is completely silent. You can hear a pin drop in this room. It's so quiet. And then all of a sudden, I let out the biggest rip from my ass. And it sounded like a thunderstorm just emerged from my butt crack. And of course, it was so quiet in the room. Everybody, it just like echoed through the whole classroom. And then all the other students were laughing and pointing and giggling because, in 6th grade, farts are funny. And then the teacher looks at me and says, you better go to the bathroom. I'm like, yes, I tried to tell you that. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the story. Like I said, it needs a lot of work because I haven't really had a chance to do it much on stage.
Say, just towards the end, roll it and go it from embarrassment, and right when and the teacher looks and says, "Yes, you better go to the bathroom." Just go, "Yes, I win."
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I win. Or I could be like, I could say, I can just say, too late.
Too late.
Could end it with, and then the teacher said, you better go to the bathroom. And I said, too late.
Too late.
Wood desks reverberate.
Oh, wood desks reverberate.
Reverberate.
The base cone.
or I don't need to go anymore. That's really good too. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Instead of saying I win or too late, teacher can say you better go to the bathroom, and then I say I don't need to go anymore.
Wonder how often that happens with homeschooling.
Right. I think too though, I gotta punch up the beginning part of it too. Just kind of like the lead in. As far as like, I don't know, maybe doing something about teachers and how, you know, some kind of a comparison of substitute teachers or something.
Different styles.
Yeah. Yeah, can talk about different styles of substitute teachers. Like you have the cool
Yeah.
substitute teacher that barely graduated from college, and they're just doing this for money for pot.
Yeah. Don't care. Just here for the paycheck.
Yep. Don't care sub.
You said that was sixth
Have
grade?
Yeah. The failed cop sub has to show his authority.
Yeah.
Teachers love weird
To
love to
wield.
wield the little
Wield.
power they
Little
have.
power
Yeah.
they have.
That would be a good tie-in too with a failed cop.
Yeah.
Failed the
Or how many of them are just, failed police officers?
failed out of the police academy.
Sometimes we get one of those teachers that, they didn't want to be a teacher. They wanted to be a cop, and they failed because they were too violent.
So now they teach kids.
Now they teach sixth graders instead.
And then because there'd be opportunity to study hall, more like turdy hall. That's funny too. Because I was gonna say there's opportunity to maybe do something about a good teacher. It can be like get all sorts of teachers, tell a story about a good teacher, then tell a story about the shitty substitutes.
Well, there's a tag right there for you. Just let it lay there for a
Yeah,
while
shitty.
and say she was a shitty substitute.
This is another. I want to be mean to kids, but only a couple times a month. That's really funny. Wow. Thanks, Spencer. Oh shit, that's so funny. Substitute teacher is just college dropout with richer parents. Oh, that's funny. I really that I want to be mean to kids, but only a couple times a month.
Timmy Williams was a substitute teacher. I've
Yeah.
never met anyone who he was a substitute teacher for. I'm just trying to picture, and I'm sure he was good at. He's good at whatever he sets out to do. Just the idea of Timmy Williams, stand-up comic, substitute school teacher.
That's funny. Yeah, right. It makes you wonder, like, how many like students recognize, like, knew who he was, because I feel like, excuse me, that would make it harder for him to try to be a teacher if they knew,
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of them did, given how small Watertown
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's pretty good. I got a lot of notes here. I'm gonna write this out. That definitely got punched up. Uh, I'm still laughing at that. I want to be mean to kids, but only a couple times a month.
That's a fun.
It's like
It's a life goal.
teachers are so mean. Like some of them substitute teachers were just failed at wanted to be cops and they failed out of the academy. Now
Hey,
they're like,
you
I want to
know,
be mean to.
now that you mention that, Spencer, Mike Brody was a substitute teacher too, isn't he? I mean, yeah, Mike Brody was too. Jenny Lou Russi, she's a
Yep,
college
she
professor.
is a teacher, college
Yeah,
professor. Yep,
yeah, that's good. I
yep.
hadn't thought
It's
about that, but yeah.
yeah, I believe that. Yeah, it's that is good because the cool thing about subbing, I looked into it, but I don't because I don't have a bachelor's degree. You have to typically have a bachelor's degree for it.
Oh,
Um, but the cool thing about it is it's pretty flexible because you pick, you know, when you're available, you can say, hey, I'm available whatever days, and then if they need a sub, you can go in and do it. So I
yeah.
could see where stand-ups would do that because you get a lot of flexibility. So, which is always good. All right. So go ahead. What's your next thing that you're working on? Oh, apparently it's your dog.
Yeah, it's that corgi. The cat moved or something. No, I was just thinking about, guys, when you get up in the middle of the night, and you have to pee in the dark. You ever use the pee stream for echolocation? Use the sound of the pee hitting the water to find the bowl. I bet bats never miss the bowl when they pee in the dark. That's probably why they developed echolocation to begin with. Just gonna let that one just lay there like a big sticking pile of bat.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I really
as long
am.
as it doesn't have the virus. Do the
It's tough
setup
to make
again.
an echolocation joke. It's tough.
Yeah. That corgi.
Yeah. Can you rein in the dog?
No? Am I supposed to club it to death?
They're a hard dog to strangle. They've got a really big neck.
That's Write that down. That's a joke. Can be talking about pets. Like I have this dog. It's a corgi. They're kind of hard to strangle. They have a big neck. Oh, that's terrible. Okay.
Yeah, I'm making jokes about eating my dogs. Strangling them.
Why not?
That's just the start.
I can't strangle them anyway. You got too big of a fat neck. Oh, I love it. Do that joke one more time. I want to hear it again.
Guys, do you ever pee in the dark and use the sound of the stream hitting the water as a way to confirm your aim? I bet bats never miss the bowl when they pee in the dark. That's probably why they developed echolocation to begin with. See, just nothing. They're just.
Well, no, I'm thinking about it because what you could do, you could tie it into like Batman. You can be like, you suppose that's how Bruce Wayne trained to be Batman?
Batman training.
And then there's room too, I mean, because that's kind of a quick joke, but there's room to like put something in the middle about missing, Yeah.
It just gets quiet when you cross the rim.
Yeah, it's like suddenly it's a silent night. you ever just listen to the stream of the pee just so you can pee in the dark, and then suddenly it stops, and
Yeah,
all you hear is the sound of silence,
that's not good.
and then your pants are wet?
Maybe there's just no meat there.
On the Joker, literally, you went to the side, and I was like, "Wait a minute, is he like talking about real meat, or is he talking about
No,
the Joker?"
no, I was just saying, well, maybe
I
there's just
think.
nothing else there to work with.
Oh
And
no,
then
I
I
think
got
it's
this
got
one
some
on the left
legs. I think
about Ohio and fentanyl.
I think it's got something there. Like I said, I think especially if you tie it into training to be Batman, or developing a skill.
When
You
this
could.
quarantine ends and Holt starts having um live open mics on Wednesday night at Bosses in Sioux Falls. You
Nice
imagine all
plug.
the new material he's going to have.
Yeah, well, let's hope. A lot of comedians have new material. I'm afraid that
Yeah.
there's a lot of comedians that are just sitting around doing nothing except bitching about virtual comedy and and how bad everything is, but they're not actually like writing to try to prepare for when we come back. That's what I like about doing this show, that starting this, because this is actually, even though a lot of the stuff I've been doing is like older material that I quit doing or never worked, it's still, pushing me to write, put down ideas and stuff. And a lot of the stuff that I got on my list tonight is all stuff that I just kind of started working out through virtual shows. And I
Oh,
want to kind of, explore the ideas more. So I mean, there's some good to it, but yeah, it'll never be live comedy.
yeah.
But I was gonna say, after this is all over too, because you talk about how they never miss because they have that, and then you can say, but they sure do. You could say something about how that, and they never miss with diseases either, or something, because there's like lots of diseases that have come from bats or something. You'd be like, or you could say, sure wish they'd miss on these diseases or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. There's maybe something there, or maybe not. I'm spitballing.
Sure. Throw it out.
I still like the other route, going something to do with like Bruce Wayne training to be Batman by
What?
peeing in the
Dan
dark.
Bublitz went with a cartoon character? What?
Right? Comic book character Dan,
Dan?
get out of here.
Seems so
That guy would never talk about comic books in comedy.
I'm
Not
looking at
ever.
I'm looking at the comments. It says Mark Knutson's watching too. I like Mark.
Oh,
Knudsen.
nice. He's good people.
Yeah. It's another comic I want to get in Watertown.
Yeah. As soon as we can, hopefully.
What's your next one, Dan?
All right. All right. Well, yeah, we had a lot of interaction before, and now all of a sudden I'm like, I hope it's not like internet. All of a sudden a bunch of comments will pop up. That'd be kind of funny. So the next one that I want to kind of do, and I got to kind of watch how I got to be careful how I tell it, I suppose. But this is another story that I did about how one time I really embarrassed my mom, and I want to lead into how like, adults need to be careful what what they say around children, because even though you think children aren't paying attention, they are. They're very observant, and they pick up things that you say. When I was younger, my parents were hippies, and they were very much rebels and against authority, and and do something, kind of talk a little more about that. But then then the gist of the story is one time we were coming out of a 7-Eleven. I was coming out of a 7-Eleven with my mom. I was like 4 or 5 years old. And as we were coming out, the police officer pulled in, got out of his car to start walking into the 7-Eleven. And I grabbed my mom's hand and I said, "Look, Mom, it's a pig," all excited. And then, of course, he gave my mom a scolding look, disappointment, and she was super embarrassed. Her face turned red. And then, so that's kind of the gist of the story. But that ties into exactly. Parents need to be careful what they say around their kids because you pick up on that stuff, and that's a real story that really happened. I said when I was 4 or 5, I I actually did that, and my mom was so embarrassed, and it's funny because I didn't. Of course, being 4 or 5, I didn't know what it meant. To me, I was just like, "Oh, it's a pig," but I was like, "Oh, it's a cop," But I was just using what they called them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what they were to my parents because my parents were punks essentially. That was the other thing I was kind of talking about with it too, about how I had young parents. My mom was 17 when I was born. My dad was 18, had just turned 18 when I was born. And so they were young and against authority. So when I'm 4 or 5, they're still in their early 20s. They're still kids themselves.
But that last line, I said, "Look, Mom, pig." And she looked down at me, squinted her eyes, and said, "Shut up, narc."
Oh, ha! That's good. Shut up, narc. Ah, that's really good. Shut up, narc. Can say, grabbed my mom's hand and pointed and said, "Look, Mom, a pig." And then the officer gave my mom a disappointing look, and then she looked down at me and said, "Shut up, narc." And then we scurried away. Snitches get stitches. Oh. Or my mom looked down at me and said, "Snitches get stitches. Shut up, narc."
I'm just trying to think of the turn there,
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like where that's kind of going.
Did the comment section totally freeze? I'm surprised.
Yeah, no, I nothing in here.
Strange.
Like I haven't seen anything on my end, so I don't know if on what happened. I don't know if we're just not, the comments aren't coming in here because they should, but let me. Just kind of looking. No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe the people that are watching, maybe Spencer and Nathan had other things to do and they dropped off and
Nathan's got a baby.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not his
so
baby.
I haven't seen any comments. Huh?
It's not his baby. He bought one.
Well, no, I mean, he just got one off the black market.
Yeah. Black market baby.
Actually, I'm just thinking about this. This could actually, my next bit could be like continued of this, where it's like I could do like with that joke something about my mom. Shut up, narcs. snitches get stitches. And then we left, and she slapped the shit out of me or something. And then I could go into this next bit that I want to do because it's a prank that I pulled on my mom.
Let's hear it.
Okay, well, do you have another one? Because I like to
I
go
do,
back
but
and
I want to
forth.
hear where you're going with this one. We'll get there.
Okay, so the next one, this is the only other thing I had here to work out, so this will be my last thing. But the next thing is another story about how, on 4th of July, in growing up in the Midwest, you could get fireworks just pretty much anywhere. And they used to make, and I don't know if they still do, it might be worth checking, but they made these little pranks called cigarette loads. And they were little, I don't know, just like little explosives essentially that you would hide in a cigarette, and then when the person's smoking it, they once the fire from the cigarette hits it, they explode. So you basically get people to their cigarettes to blow up in their face. Very dangerous now that I think about it, but also very hilarious. So one year, because my mom smoked a lot and I wanted to try to help her quit smoking, I went through and I bought a little canister of these cigarette loads, and I put one in every cigarette in her open pack. I was like able to sneak out her cigarettes, and there it might have been a half a pack left, and I don't know, she must have been taking a nap or something. And while she was taking a nap, I sat there patiently and I loaded every cigarette with one of these loads. And so she gets up, she goes and she has a cigarette, and I was real clever. I didn't want it to like blow up right away because I figured, oh, it's gonna blow up right away. That'll be whatever. So I knew how to get the tobacco out of a cigarette, and so I put the load way deep in the cigarette, and so she's smoking away, and it explodes. And then, or actually, see, and this is where this needs. We did this one. So the first one, I put the cigarette load like towards the front. So the first one she smoked blows up right away. She freaks out, whatever. And then she does another one. Well, the rest of them I put in the middle of the cigarettes. So she would think that, okay, it's safe to smoke this now. Smokes the next cigarette. It's about halfway through. Boom! Blows up in her face. So like I said, I haven't worked that out. That's the gist of it. But that could be a tie into how I got even for try to get even with my mom for the police story. But trying to think, because I could do yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
like I said, that's a definite work in progress because I haven't even tried this like as a joke or a story at all.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Just,
trying to see where the meat is on the bone there. Trying to find that.
Yeah,
because I remember those too, and those exploding spark plug attachments you could put on people's cars.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, fireworks stands were just vandalism retail.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's actually a good talking about that.
God, the stuff they used to sell. The little exploding door. So you'd hook them to a doorknob and to a door latch. So when someone opened a door, there'd be a small explosion from opening.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
right.
The little string.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So that was like one of my favorite things as a kid. Like I loved. Yeah. He says it's a long setup. Put funny on the way to the funny. Yeah, I realize it's a long setup. Yes, indeed. A lot there. But yeah, that's
Those cigarette loads, they were about a half-inch long and white, and about not even an eighth of an inch in diameter. And you just slide them things up inside there. Yeah, exploding things in people's faces, putting explosives under the hoods of people's cars. The 70s were pure chaos. Cocaine
I
was
think
cheap. Weed was near free. The stuff grew wild in the ditches. It was anarchy.
explosive pranks. He said, also, why did your mom keep smoking that pack? As a history of smoking. That is a good question. That is a good question. Honestly, though, after the, I think the second cigarette, she did throw the rest away. She was like, I don't trust you. Because I tried to convince you. I was like, Mom, that was it. I promise. That's it. And she finally didn't. She actually smacked the shit out of me because it about gave her a heart attack.
She had to keep trying to smoke those because she had no idea where I hid her weed.
Yeah. It's funny too. It's not funny. I mean, there's irony in it though. My mom ended up having a lot of heart issues, and then ultimately when she passed away, it had to do with heart issues. So kind of ironic, but also sad.
You start with that dark, the whole setup before you start. You just way back at the start. Let me explain how I contributed to the death of my own mother.
Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure I killed my mom.
I'm pretty
not
sure.
Directly. Not directly. I'm pretty sure I killed my mom. Not directly, but over a period of her life.
Working the long game.
Yeah. Okay.
Mom, lay off the tab.
Lay off the tab. Kaboom. Did you use the get blow method? Try and control her behavior in other ways?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. How I controlled my mom. I was the parent.
Remember the AIDS diet candies? Lose weight the easy way with AIDS. They were little. I think they were caffeine-filled caramels. And my mom tried them for a while. But yeah, maybe they were laxative-filled caramels. I don't know. But weight loss the easy way with AIDS.
Some of the stuff that used to be around is ridiculous. Like I say, you reminded me of all that stuff from like fireworks that you could get, because I remember I would do the I would get the strings, and it was always funny too because it was always so obvious when you're trying to get somebody to walk through a door, like they knew it. A lot of times they're like, I'm not going to do this, and then they would forget and then end up walking through it again. And then it would blow up.
The exploding spark plug thing that you'd actually pop the hood on somebody's car and hook this small explosive device up to a spark plug wire. And this was just sold over the counter.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
A lot of this stuff.
An explosion on your car.
Yeah. And you could, as a kid, you could buy the. That's what's even crazier. Like in the 80s, I could go as a little kid to the fireworks stand, and they would sell me all of this. Oh. All right. That's all I got for my stuff.
Go down to the corner and give me a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. These aren't for me. They're for my mom.
Actually, that was a thing too. Plenty of times. That could be that could actually be the lead in. Like, I could talk about how my mom would always send me to get her cigarettes. And finally I got tired of being her little errand boy. And so what I did was I made her cigarettes explode, and then, tell the story about the loads, and then be like, guess what? She never asked me to buy her another pack of cigarettes again. So I guess I won. Oh, all right. That's all I got. You go with yours.
I got one more.
We're gonna be wrapping up here. Good. Perfect. That's
I
perfect.
read about a drug bust. They caught a smuggler with 600 pounds of fentanyl. The headline said, "Enough fentanyl to kill everyone in Ohio." I had no idea that Ohio was the standard measuring system for fentanyl. Does that apply to other things? The crash truck was carrying 600 cases of Budweiser, enough beer to get 2 guys from North Dakota drunk for 3 days. The drug runners were caught with 12 pounds of meth. That's enough to get everyone in South Dakota high for a month.
Oh, that's actually really good.
They were using Ohio as the measuring standard for fentanyl.
Could yeah, I could already like where you went with that, where you're just using other states to measure other things. Because you could say so if they used Ohio as the the standard measuring system, does that mean it's like the United States is or you could say, does that mean the United States is a standard measuring system? And then do your other,
Oh,
other examples of it.
Oh, I think there's a potential there for a metric system joke.
Yeah. Yep.
In Europe, they'd measure that in grams. Here in the U.S., we measure that in Ohio.
Or you could say in states, if you do the other example.
Right, yeah.
Other examples, you can say in Europe, they would measure this in grams. In the United States, we measure it as states.
I like that angle. It seems like beer ought to go with Wisconsin, though. Or cheese.
Yeah, well.
Or cheese.
Cheese would be a good one for Wisconsin.
Yep.
It'd be funny if you made an example for every state. That'd be like the longest joke. You'd have to take breaks and in between the jokes and like do 2 or 3 and then you have to I know what you're thinking.
Everything
more.
Every
and then you keep doing more.
Every joke Skylar Bolks has this it's got to be 15-minute long bit he does for different things that dads stands for. And
he keeps adding on to it.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, you can get audience participation. Name a state. I'll tell you what they're the standard measuring for.
Yeah, there you go. You can do Arkansas. You could. I mean, it's obvious, but you could do something with teeth.
It's either going to be teeth or incest. You've only got 2 ways to go.
Yeah, right. There's only 2 ways that can really go.
I should try. I should see if I can come up with something for all 50.
You should. That's a good writing assignment. Whether it be, and whether you could do, it would be any worth doing it as a whole or whatever. But it'd still be a fun, like I said, a little writing assignment. Try to come up with one because I'm sure you could think of something.
It's a good brain
on every. Exactly. Yeah, it's a very good brain exercise. No, that's good. No, this was very constructive. I got a lot of great notes. I feel like you got a lot of great notes.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I do have one other thought that I just remembered. And this is something I haven't worked out. It was just an idea, and I don't know if the idea is funny or not. But everybody knows who Joe Pesci is, and every movie he's in, he like every other line of his dialogue is fuck. And I think it would be, instead of saying fuck, we should just change that word to Pesci. So instead of saying fuck, you say Pesci. So, listen here, you Pesci. Don't make me punch your Pesci brains in. and then would go on and replace fuck with Pesci and all the examples.
There's
And
flash
maybe even do some,
the network
what was that?
television version of Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, it can be like, yeah. Because then I was gonna say, or I could do different Joe Pesci lines where he uses the F word but replace it with Pesci. I don't know why that. I'm like, I don't know. For some reason, that the idea of replacing swears with Pesci just cracks me up. I don't know why. It's like the dumbest idea.
I'd like to, yeah. I want to see what develops from that one. I like that.
Replacing swears with Pesci. And you're like, yeah, we're gonna replace all the swears with Pesci. And what that means is every time you're about to swear, Pesci just pops out of a bush and swears for you.
Yeah. For $50 more, you get the Samuel Jackson upgrade.
Yeah, that's an angle. And like selling selling censorship packages. But I don't know. That just, like I said, for whatever reason, that just cracked me up. It's the dumbest. But I love it. Joe Pesci as swears. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. We're here for about an hour, and I got some good notes. You got some good notes. You got anything you wanna plug or
Yeah,
coming up?
I had a lot of these shirts made.
Well, that's what
And
that is.
The punchline from my joke about my dog marking his territory. So if you would like it's a corgi, which you heard barking earlier, and the shirt just simply says, "This is my territory," please drop me a line, Mr. Lee Bruns at gmail.com. And I'll they're only $20. Buy a shirt.
There you go.
Yeah. Hopefully you're either a large or an extra large.
Because apparently that's all he has left.
I got a lot of them. I have so many shirts, Dan.
Yeah. Oh, I that's why I don't do shirts anymore. They get to be a lot, and then you run out of one size.
Yeah,
and then it's a pain. So yeah, I've actually been looking at either doing enamel pins or hats. That's my next thing I'm looking at. But all right, well, thank you for joining me on Renewed. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the Art of Bombing podcast. That's what this is presented by. That is a weekly podcast where I talk to comedians about bombing on stage. It's available every podcast are, and then you can follow on Instagram and Twitter at Bublitz Comedy and my website, danbublitz.com. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Lee, for joining me. And we're going to end this live broadcast right now. And I'm sorry for the first 5 minutes of technical issues. Love you. Bye. We're still rolling.